So I have really talented friends, and this week, my very talented friend Shell is sponsoring the Busy Girls Guide to the Bible podcast. Shell has this amazing Etsy store called Archer's Arrows by Shell, and she has come from the corporate world and become this phenomenal, ridiculous, amazing businesswoman where she creates and designs and does all these amazing things: branding, essential oil supplies, apparel, vinyls, you name it, she creates it. And so this week she is offering all of our listeners free shipping, guys, for orders of $20 or more. So if you have any kind of design needs, if you need vinyls or t-shirts or custom anything, use the code Andrea18, ANDREA18 for free shipping on orders of $20 or more. And I will link her shop in the podcast notes. Go buy all the things, because I'm telling you, you'll want to. Welcome to the Busy Girls Guide to the Bible podcast. I'm Andrea, and this podcast is my own ramblings and lessons that I have learned in trying to balance being a Christian, a wife, a mom, a writer, a business owner, a photographer, a blogger, a friend, a daughter, a sister, and the 1 million other things that make me me. What I want so badly is to teach other women that the Bible doesn't have to be confusing or frustrating or even over your head. I want to teach you the ways that I have learned to carve out time, not only to get into the Bible, but to apply it, make sense of it, and get practical takeaways in everyday life. Welcome back. I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you for joining me every week. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave a review. Let me know how it's going, how you're liking it, and if there are any topics that you want to discuss. That would be so awesome, because that helps me know where to take it and where we're missing the mark and where we need to add new topics. So thank you. I'm so excited that you guys are here this week. I was asked to speak to a team of people a couple of days ago about the topic of joy and being your own cheerleader and how to motivate yourself and be your own inspiration. It was such a great lesson and practice for me, because it made me think about things to take into account, and it made me break down everything about how to be a joyful person, why I'm a joyful person, and give it some kind of legs. So if you know anything about any of the personality tests or anything, if you take the Enneagram, I'm a 7. And if you take the full spectrum success personality test, I'm a blue. Basically what that means is that I'm perky, which I think you guys could probably pick up. I like fun things. I like to have fun. I am a project starter, not a project finisher. I want to do all the fun things and have a good time. I like to be the life of the party. I like to make jokes. I love to make people laugh. So any blue 7s out there, holla at your girl. I don't have much in the way of organization. I like to have my house in order. I like to have that kind of organization, but my brain is a disaster. Let's just be honest. Some of the people closest to me, or the people who work with me, know that I am a little bit scatterbrained, but that totally fits with the personality tests and all of that, because those are my weaknesses, guys, among other things like Oreos. So it was great to get to talk to this group of people about joy and about being your own cheerleader, because I think we're really good at cheering other people on, but we're not always great at cheering ourselves on. I think it's easier for us to be a positive, and when you can see, when it's not seeing the forest for the trees, you can actually step back, remove yourself in the situation, and see, hey, girl, you're missing a big picture here. So when we're on the outside of that, it's so much easier, but obviously it's harder when we're in the midst of it. So like I said, giving it legs and breaking down, which was so not my thing. I don't like to break things down. Breaking things down and seeing what I do on a daily basis, how I keep myself motivated, how I keep my team members motivated or my friends motivated, or however that works out. It was such a great exercise, and I'm so glad that I had to do it. So it's not like I have these amazing tips and tricks. It's just These are the things that I have made habits of. These are the things that I try when I do make lists. These are the things that I try to check off my list when I'm working, when I'm at Bible study or wherever, just in my everyday life. And hey, how about with your kids? Because they can really grate on your nerves. I don't know if you knew that. I don't think that I was a positive person growing up. You should ask my parents. I don't know. I had this period where when I was really little, I was kind of like Maddie, where I never met a stranger. Hey, you don't know me, but let me tell you my whole life story, all of that kind of stuff. I was a pretty friendly person, and I think I was a pretty happy kid. Yeah, I was. Like, I was bouncy, and like the blonde ponytail was always bouncing up and down. But I think when I became a teenager, I became the more sullen teenager. Maybe it was a PMSy teenager. I don't know. Again, ask my parents. But I only think that. Like, I think back and I see myself as relatively joyful. But then I want to introduce you to my sister, Barbie. It's ridiculous. You guys, when my hair was really dark and she would stand next to me, I would be like, we look like good and evil. Like, this is ridiculous. But my sister just came out of the chute, happy-go-lucky, super joyful. And to be honest, it really irritated the crap out of us because there was this period of time, this is not a joke. So sorry, Rachel, but you earned it. There was this period of time when she would wake up in the morning and she would come bouncing out of her room and say, I'm sunny side up. And the rest of us would just look at her and be like, ugh, shut up. It was very irritating. But looking back and being a grown up and a mom and a wife, I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. But I hate mornings. So it's just, guys, it's not going to happen. But I can choose that. I get to choose every day. And that's obviously what I didn't know as a teenager. And let's be honest, hormones working against me, that I could actually wake up and choose to be a joyful person. Now, obviously, circumstances can really blow and take the wind out of your sails. But I think if we can get up every day with the knowledge that, one, we can choose to be a joyful person. We can choose to see the silver lining in the really garbagey parts of life. And two, that we're actually called to be joyful. I think it would make a big difference. So I'm going to give you some pointers, give you a little rundown of what I do, how I start my day, and things that you can incorporate into your life to make you a more joyful person. And in turn, guess what? You're going to feel better. People around you are going to feel better. And that is contagious. I mean, how many know, like, when you're around somebody who's an Eeyore, you take that on and you're grumpy and you're tired. But if you're around a Tigger, all you want to do is talk really, really fast, and you talk like a hummingbird, and you want to do all the things, and you want to bounce and go and do and be. It's contagious. Whatever it is contagious. I will say that one of the best things for me was that my husband has always been a very positive person. I often refer to him as Pollyanna because, oh my gosh, you know what I just realized? Like, this generation has no idea who that is. You guys, go watch Pollyanna. It's such a great movie. Anyway, sidebar. He's always been glass half full, abundance on the other side, blah, just a wonderful, amazing human being that I don't know how I married. He wakes up, and even if he's tired or he's sick or whatever, he's just happy. He's just joyful. It's just, he has a contented spirit. And it's great because kids can be a real drag. And so when he wakes up and they're grumpy or they're naggy or whatever, he just automatically has this really quiet, peaceful spirit with them. And I don't. So we're a really great balancing act for each other and with our kids. But that was something that really, it was so, irritating, let's be real, for a sarcastic grump. But it was also kind of an eye-opener because he was just like, gosh, why are you so grumpy? Well, hello, I'm PMSy, I'm fat, I all the things, like whatever. Like I was just giving into the circumstances and not realizing, one, I could take a nap because I didn't work for a lot of years. I'm chubby because I have an abundance of food. So let's be grateful for things around us that actually are in our favor. So once I started to see, I could actually turn this and make it something that isn't a negative. I could turn a negative into a positive. It was hard. It wasn't easy, but it was entirely doable. And so once I discovered that, like once he pointed that out to me, I was able to go, okay, well, so the dog peed on the carpet, but at least I have the dog that I want. And one day we're going to have wood floors. Guess what? I got them. The other thing that I did was I got around people who I wanted to emulate, people who exuded positivity, who were joyful, who were fun. And I honestly think that turned me into a 7 on the Enneagram. I think it turned me into a blue because I enjoyed being around people. And it's easy to Netflix and binge, but it's harder to go out, put your bra on, put your pants on, and go do fun things. But once you do, man, you feel so much better. You feel more alive. You feel like you've got, that you've fed your soul. And, there's this back and forth and give and take between your friends that it's just natural. And when you do that, there's this natural joy that starts to bubble up inside of you. So if you have friends that are dragging you down, that are grumpy, that are glass half empty, all of that kind of stuff, I would challenge you, don't get rid of them, but definitely find a new core group of people who are positive, who speak life, who don't look at the negative in life on the regular, but who can say, okay, here we are, this is our circumstance, but I'm going to turn it for good. God's going to work this out. Even though we're in the trenches right now, we know that there is a mountaintop somewhere around the corner. Those are the people who are going to be with you and do the hard things and the fun things because you've put the time in and you have done the same thing for them that they've done for you. You are infusing joy into their lives and speaking life into their lives rather than being what somebody called an energy vampire. I think that's so great. And we all know them. We work with them. Some of them are family members. Maybe you're married to one. There's plenty of people out there like that. So why not buck tradition and be the opposite? People want to be around joyful people. You, even if you are feeling like an Eeyore right now, you want to be a Tigger. This is a ridiculous analogy, but you want that. You want to be happy and joyful, and you want to feel fulfilled and contented. Nobody wants to feel empty and sad and alone. Let's be honest. If you do, please call me. We want to feel happy. We want to feel joyful. And if you look at the scriptures, if you go into Galatians 5, one of the first things that it says is that if we walk in the Spirit and in the fruits of the Spirit, it doesn't even allow for us to walk in the flesh. Like if we're constantly filled with love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, blah, 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 we don't have time for the other stuff. There's no room for it. If we are feeling joyful, which we're called to do as Christians, we don't have time to feel depressed and sad and lonely. There's no room for it. And I'm not saying that there aren't seasons where you're going to feel that way because duh, that's life. But if we're constantly looking for the silver lining, if we're walking through, for example, miscarriage, but we can see, oh my gosh, I have the ability to get pregnant, or God's going to bless us, or however you need to look at that, find the silver lining in it, because there always is something there. There is something that you can be grateful for and have joy over. The other thing that you have to do in order to be a joyful person is to put time and effort into yourself. So that means you need to take care of yourself, body, mind, spirit. You need to be exercising, which I just started doing. You need to be eating healthy, also just started doing. You need to drink a lot of water, also just started doing. You need to sit down and have time alone to think, to process, to talk to God, to do some kind of personal internal development every single day. There will be days that it doesn't work out. But if you can find even 15 minutes a day to do something that feeds your soul, do it. It's going to pay off exponentially. Just if you can cut, everybody has 10, 15 minutes in their day that they can cut out. Everybody has that time. So take the time to read a book, a chapter in a book, listen to a podcast, read the Bible, whatever it is you need to do. Get alone and do something that builds you up and fills your cup. Because how many of us know, especially as moms, we try to take care of everything and do all the things, and we're working, but we're also taking care of a house, and we're trying to raise babies and have it all together. But when we're not getting fed, we're not getting filled up, we're pouring from nothing, and it doesn't benefit anyone. In all likelihood, you're snappier, you're grumpier, you have no time for anyone's crap because you haven't taken the time to fill your own cup. So you can't look at it as a negative thing or like you're taking away from something or it's selfish. No. When you are filled, you are more efficient and you can do more and you can be more to the people who rely on you. So take that time, whether it be in the morning or even at night. It changes for me depending on the season. But for a while, the best time was at night, where I would actually get my personal development in, when I could actually study my Bible. Right now, because of the school schedule, I'm up early and the boys are off doing their own thing early in the morning and Maddie's off at school. And so I sit in the living room and read my Bible, or I listen to worship music or whatever. But that's my time to kind of rejuvenate myself and get ready for the day. So wherever you can find pockets of time, you have to take that for yourself and not feel like, oh, I should be doing the dishes, or I should be doing laundry, or I really need to send this email over my lunch hour. No, take that time, because you're going to be more effective. You're going to be a happier person. You're going to add more value to people's lives the more that you feed yourself. And back on the friend note, I want to say that if you have women in your life who are further along in their careers or parenthood or marriage or whatever, get around them a lot. Go ask them to go to coffee with you and just let them download all of their information. Just get in their presence and ask them questions. Be inspired, be motivated by where they've come from and how they have gotten to the place that they're in right now. And remember that you're the sum of the 5 closest people to you in your life. So if your friends are negative Eeyores, guess what you're going to be? It's easy to think that you can be the light, that you can be the joyful person in the midst of, a room full of grumpy people. But really, they're going to start weighing you down. They're going to start making you feel sadder and more depressed and more negative. So if you purposely go find people who are joyful, who walk into a room and are like this giant light bulb, that's how you're naturally going to begin to behave. That's how your countenance is going to be lifted. So go find, I know Tiggers can be irritating. I know that I'm irritating. Like, I get it. But I'm a pretty joyful person. So even though circumstances can really suck, I will be down for a minute, but then I'm back doing the next thing, happy-go-lucky, bouncing around on my tail. So go find those people and be around them and let their joy and their happiness be contagious, because it will rub off on you. And the things that start to roll into your life that maybe aren't so great, they won't feel so daunting and so, but you have to do the work. You have to be the one to step out. You have to be the one to be your own cheerleader in the beginning. You have to get in front of the mirror and go, you know what? You are awesome and your stretch marks are amazing and those saggy boobs are great. You just have to start being the person that you want in your life. Be that person first, and then you can go out and do that for other people. Other people can't just come and do all the work for you. There's going to have to be something, there's going to be some legwork required of you. And I really believe that like God sets you up and says, "Hey, I did my part, girl. You're up." So when you can figure out the things that are going to motivate you, that are going to inspire you, that are going to keep you going and moving forward in life, start doing them. Write them down. Remind yourself, put it on a sticky note and put it on your mirror so that you can do that every single day. And before you know it, a month is going to go by and it's going to be a habit. You're going to be used to getting up and doing your personal development. You're going to be used to calling up your friends and saying, "Hey, how are you? What are you doing? How can I encourage you today?" You're going to get used to standing in front of the mirror and talking about how amazing you are. It just takes practice. It's not something that's necessarily innate. It can be, but for a lot of us, we have to learn it and apply it and reapply it and reapply it. You guys are the best podcast listeners ever. I love this gig that we have going. It's so much fun. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe, leave a review. Let me know how it's going, how you're liking it. If you have any topic requests, let me know. I am always taking them. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Be blessed. You're amazing.